Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of J News Japan. I am the good brother J News, representing True Heel Nation. We are here to talk about New Beginning in Osaka, which took place about 17 and a half hours ago, our time here on the East Coast. So let's get with it. First match of the night was an 8-man tag. It was basically including all the New Japan legends. We had Yuji Nagata on one team, Satoshi Kojima, Tenzan, and Manu Nakanishi, who is going to be retiring within the next 2 weeks, against Taguchi, Toa Hanare, Hanma, and Makabe. Only thing I would have to say about this match is the result. The team of Nagata, Kojima, Tenzan, and Nakanishi won this particular match. Nakanishi, being that he's going to be retiring, had to get a win under his belt before he goes out on his sword. And that is all I have to say about that. Second match of the night includes the title defense of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships by Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo, versus the Suzuki-gun team of Kanemaru and El Desperado. This match was very well worked between the two teams. Kanemaru and Desperado were showing their ability to be a good heel tag team. Working Sho's left knee over, which was the story of the match. Sho had a left knee injury, even though he carried the match. It was about a 16, 17-minute match. Sho was in there for the majority of the time. Yo came in for the hot tags from time to time, but Sho was the one doing the majority of the work in this match. The outcome was that Sho and Yo finally successfully defended their Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships when it came to this particular match, when they beat Kanemaru and El Desperado. At the end of the match, the main man, Taguchi, came into the ring, and he basically cut a little bit of a promo in English and in Japanese, basically wanting to challenge the tag team champions, in this case Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K, with the surprise tag team partner of the mentor of Roppongi 3K, Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero came out with Roppongi 3K like he usually does for big events, just to have their back and to be there as a coach. But Taguchi made the challenge, and he basically had a basketball in hand, and he was trying to get everybody, what Taguchi does in this case, his comedy bits, making people laugh and still making the sports references. And he passed the ball to Rocky, and Rocky eventually shot his shot into a human basketball rim, which was Taguchi, and he made the shot. So in this case, somewhere down the line, Taguchi and Rocky Romero are going to challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team belts. On to the third match. We had another special 8-man tag where it was Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson, Finn Juice, versus the Bullet Club team of Chase Owens, Takahashi, Tonga Loa, and Tamatanga, God. In this match, everybody got their spots in. I wouldn't necessarily say that there was anything that was brewing in this match. Nothing that I noticed from the English commentary team here at all. It's always a pleasure to see Yujiro Takahashi bring Peter out. That's for the red-blooded males across the world. That's a damn fine woman that always comes to the ring with the Tokyo Pimp. But to record the result, we had Tanahashi basically do the schoolboy roll-up on Tonga Loa, and the team of Ibushi, Tanahashi, Finlay, and Juice Robinson won out in this match. Fourth match of the night, should I say, was a special tag team match. Members of Chaos, Will Ospreay, and Kazuchika Okada versus members of Suzuki-gun, Zack Sabre Jr., and Tai Chi. Yet again, this particular match is set for these individual singles matches that will be happening in the future. Tai Chi still battling with Okada. Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay will be having their Valentine's Day match at Rev Pro on February 14th for the British Heavyweight Championship. The winning team here was Ospreay and Okada, where Okada basically took Tai Chi's head off with a Rainmaker, while Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. didn't do much in ring wise, but the majority of their fighting was outside of the ring. But everybody got their spots in with this particular match. Fifth match of the night was another special singles match. My favorite, as I mentioned before, SANADA of LIJ versus Jay White. It was a very well worked match between two of the best in ring competitors in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Jay White won this one out. It was a very back and forth battle between Jay White and SANADA. A lot of reversals, a lot of counters, as per a lot of Jay White matches. But very well worked. About 20 minutes of a match. I can probably watch these guys wrestle all day and all night. At the end of it, Jay White did beat SANADA. The point that was played up during commentary about SANADA is that SANADA hasn't had a singles match win since August of 2019. So I'm not necessarily sure as to what they're going to be doing with SANADA sometime soon, or if they're going to give him some sort of a stretch, or if his contract is coming up and he's just lose. I don't know what's going on with the whole SANADA situation. But Jay White, yet again, another event he's made to look good. And SANADA didn't look bad here either. But yet again, he did get the loss. The sixth match of the night was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, where it was the champion, Hiromu Takahashi, versus Ryu Lee, formerly known as Dragon Lee. This match lasted about 24 minutes. I want to say this, and I'm all for great wrestling matches, right? Everybody wants to see high work rate stuff and be impressed as to what happens and things of that nature. These matches with Takahashi and Ryu Lee aren't those kind of matches. You can see that from a working standpoint, like, these guys look like they're legitimately trying to hurt each other, even though they come out for the most part. Obviously, Takahashi did break his neck about a year and a half ago in a match with Ryu Lee, but it's just outright them just pounding on each other. Bunch of suplexes. It was lots of German suplexes, a lot of frontward chops, the Mexican style chops, which is just straight up against the freaking chest and stuff like that. Their chests got red and the vessels popped right away and stuff like that. And it's just, these matches with them two are brutal. People love them. I was okay with them at first, but just after the Takahashi injury, for me, it's like, all right, guys, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little bit too much for me to kind of like take. To round this up, Takahashi ended up winning the match. He did defeat Ryu Lee. Hit him with, I think it was his second ticking time bomb and finisher, to make sure that he got the 1, 2, 3 on Ryu Lee. But man, that match was very hard hitting and brutal, to say the least. Speaking of brutal and hard hitting, the next match, which was for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship, champion Jon Moxley, was going up against challenger Minoru Suzuki. Now, we all kind of figured this was going to be a melee of a match, right? These two guys, very hardcore, very hard-hitting dudes. They didn't disappoint. Match lasted about 18 minutes. Jon Moxley got his licks in. Suzuki got his licks in. Those forearms to the freaking side of the face, to the collarbone area from Suzuki to Moxley, just sounded awful, man. Every time he hit, it was just like he was figuring to knock him out. And Jon Moxley, he gave it to him. He came right back to him, and he gave him the business, man. A lot of the time, there was a lot of chair shots. First time I had seen Jon Moxley give someone a straight up head chair shot. He gave that to Suzuki, and Suzuki just fucking laughed it off, or whatever have you. And that was the basis. That was the basis of the match. That was the story of the match. They were beating the crap out of each other, but they were loving it, So that was the story being told in this match. And eventually, Jon Moxley hit Minoru Suzuki with 2 Death Riders in order to pin Suzuki. And man, that match was, it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like any of Jon Moxley's hardcore matches. But yet again, another brutal, physical match that, could have gone either way, but it was very entertaining to watch. And luckily, it's not like Ryu Lee versus Takahashi, where it's like their 12th match, and it's the same kind of thing. You know, it's the first time these two competitors have met up, and they sold this particular match. And then to end out the event in Osaka, it was the 8th and last match of the night. It was for the double championship. The champion himself, the IWGP Intercontinental Champion and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Tetsuya Naito, was going up against KENTA, formerly known as, I forgot his WWE name. I forgot his WWE name right now, so it doesn't even matter. It is just KENTA. KENTA is what he's known as best. So this match, in my opinion, delivered big time. I think the last spot of the match, I'm not sure as to why it happened. Sometimes I'm okay with color in a match. Color meaning when somebody gets busted open and stuff like that. In this match, I was a little thrown off by it. I understood the part where during the match where Kenta undid the turnbuckle pad, and eventually somebody was going to get thrown into it and stuff like that. And Naito took both the hits, really. Naito got thrown into the turnbuckle back first, and he took that hard bump. And then towards the end of the match, he took a head bump, a header, into the turnbuckle corner that didn't have the pad, and he busted himself wide open. The match was a lot of back and forth, a lot of them throwing each other into the guardrails. When the wrestling came into play, very well worked. These are two highly skilled veterans of the wrestling game. And, the match did not underdeliver. It definitely delivered for me. To end up here, Tetsuya Naito ended up winning this match and beating Kenta with Destino. Naito had tried Destino a few times during the match and did not hit it. Eventually, when he did hit Destino fully, he won the match. Out of this particular match, we did see the post-match happenings. Naito finally got to do his congratulatory, celebratory LIJ roll call, but he also called out Hiromu Takahashi in this case for, I'm not sure if it's going to be the New Japan Cup or King of Pro Wrestling. I think King of Pro Wrestling is before their end of the year show, so I'm thinking it's New Japan Cup. There's going to be a match between the Junior Heavyweight Champion and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So Naito challenged Takahashi to a match. They both accepted each other. They both accepted that they will be having this match. It's going to be one of those, LIJ member versus LIJ member matches, and we'll see how it turns out. It's going to be their first ever meeting. Tetsuya Naito was more or less the mentor of Hiromu Takahashi throughout his time as a young lion and things of that nature. So they have that storyline brewing under there. But at this point, they want to see and they want to battle it out to see who's actually the best wrestler. Outside of whatever weight division they might be in. So I don't think I didn't cover anything here, but outside of what happened at the end of the Moxley versus Suzuki match, after Suzuki got beat, Zack Sabre Jr. did come out and basically choke out Jon Moxley, and he was, gallivanting around with the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. So they're trying to build a match there between the British Heavyweight Champion of Rev Pro, who is Zack Sabre Jr., versus the IWGP US Heavyweight Champion, who is Jon Moxley. So eventually we'll see that match sometime down the road as well. So a lot more building towards other storylines here at New Beginning in Osaka. Sorry for the stuttering. It's just been a long day for me and things of that nature. But just to let you know, overall the show was a very good quality show. 4.5 hours long for one of their I would say, well, I guess I'm not sure. New Beginning, I wouldn't put it as one of their A shows. So I would guess it's a B show. It's not up there with the New Japan Cup or Boss J or G1 Climax or Wrestle Kingdom, for me. So but it turned out very well. Very decent show. Nothing crazy. I wouldn't say it's the greatest show on the freaking planet, but you got what you paid for and you got what you expected out of this particular show. So this is my wrap on that. This has been J News Japan. This is the third edition of it. We'll continue on. This has been about New Beginning Osaka. Not sure what the next show is going to be. I'm gonna look at the schedule here real quick to see as to what is coming up down the line. So New Japan Road, a small tour they're gonna be going on. Starts on the 20th of February, and they'll be going through for a while, I believe here, New Japan Road. And then that'll go from the 20th to the 26th. And then their anniversary tour begins in March. So we'll be covering that. I'll also be covering the Tiger Hattori retirement, just to have a say in the overall history and what kind of an effect Tiger Hattori has had on New Japan and wrestling overall. Because Tiger Hattori has not just refereed in New Japan. And also I'll be doing short coverage on the Manabu Nakanishi retirement event. The Nakanishi retirement event happens on the 22nd of February, and Tiger Hattori's retirement event happens on February 19th. So look forward to that as well. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe, comment at the bottom. Sorry for the clap. Comment at the bottom, and keep watching. Thanks for the support, guys. Yet again, this is your main man, the good brother, J News. This has been J News Japan. As always, be good, take care, and stay wrestling fans.